Hello, everyone. We want to welcome you to this live broadcast. We are at the Utah State Capitol, and we are broadcasting for the big rally that's happening here. Utah Pride Center put this together kind of in a really quick put-together rally the troops and bring the community here, the steps of the Utah State Capitol. We want to welcome you who are just joining us from wherever you are listening. If you aren't in Utah, I see that you have an excuse for not being here, but there's a big crowd here, and we're excited to be able to show the transgender community some support and give them our attention. As many of you know and have paid attention over the last legislative session here in the state of Utah, House Bill 11 was proposed. It was an opportunity for the legislators to debate whether, and we'll get into this a little later, why this was important or not important. But the Utah State Legislature, the House and the Senate, both were debating rules and restrictions regarding transgender female athletes within the Utah High School Activities Association. Essentially, whether or not transgender individuals should be allowed to play high school sports. It's something that we've seen throughout the nation. This isn't the first state that's been debating this topic. And so the result of what is often called the Utah Compromise, where LGBT groups, namely Equality Utah and others, essentially band together to create a compromise or legislation that is beneficial to both sides and move forward from there. For many months, we thought that had happened between the different groups, including the sponsors of the bill. But then in a very last-minute experience, about 2 hours prior to the ending of the legislative session, there was a bill introduced, an amendment to House Bill 11 that totally threw this, essentially a torpedo into the original language, which overall was a ban on transgender athletes participating in sports at a high school level. So that's where we're at today. That was kind of the premise, and we'll hear a little bit more about that here in a few minutes as we listen to some of the speakers at this event. But the bigger and maybe more compassionate and gentle part of this story was Governor Cox, who watched as this torpedo amendment came through and vowed to veto this bill, the House Bill 11, as it was written. And he indeed did do that. He did veto that in a show of solidarity with the LGBTQ community. He did veto House Bill 11. And for many of us, we thought that was a veto-proof decision. Governor Cox is somewhat alone in the United States. There are almost 300 transgender bills that are being that were tossed about through this legislative session, more than 600 since 2018. But it was only Governor Cox and Indiana governor, the governor of Indiana, who vetoed transgender legislation in their states. Other states like Texas, Tennessee, they all have allowed their transgender bills to go forward as a very restrictive means. So that is what we're talking about today. Governor Cox, again, expresses the importance of listening to and better understanding the experiences of the LGBTQ community. And it's just, in our opinion, super sad to see that this is happening. So we got a big crowd behind us. They're ready for the big event. All the media is here. So we're just going to we'll kind of let the camera pan, and you can take advantage of the views. And then just in a couple minutes, we're going to get started here with the event.
Can I get some mic help? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Raise your hands in the air if you can hear me. Louder! Louder! I got them both on, right?
We just need to check volume. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. This one's off.
Can we untape them so we can each have one? Or do
Well,
we
you need
them
both
together?
to amplify on both sides. Here comes John.
Okay. All right.
Turn your phone off so your Bluetooth so it's not.
Okay.
I'll turn my Bluetooth.
Test.
Is your camera on? Oh, you have your camera.
Test. This is test. It worked fine before.
Okay. Any better? Okay. This is gonna be great. Okay. I am Jessica Dumar. I'm Jay Evans. And we're announcing. We get to introduce amazing feedback. Do you think it's because they're taped together? It is. I think so too. 1 second. Sorry about that. You take one. I take one. Far apart. Okay. Apparently, you might want to put it more towards your mouth, Jay.
We'll just switch between
Let's go.
It's fine. It's not even on because it will give feedback.
Okay, let's all get on this mic. Can you hear us? Okay, I am sorry about that. Thank you all for showing up tonight. This is an amazing crowd. What do you think?
I think it's amazing, and I think we're all going to have a really fun night tonight.
This right now, what we are doing is we are showing trans kids that no matter what happens, no matter what legislature does tomorrow, we are here. That we support them and that we will fight for and with them because they are children. This is our fight. We are in this together, all of us. So thank you for being here. I am Jessica Dumar. I'm from the Pride Center, and this is Jay. Jay, do you want to tell? Oh, does it work?
Is it working?
Right.
Maybe. Testing. No.
Here you go.
I'm Jay Evans. I'm a trans athlete. I've done marching band, I've done baseball, and I've done multiple sports, and I just want to keep playing along with the rest of y'all. As a transgender athlete, I know for a fact that sports helps me get through a lot of things, and I know for some other kids that are also trans, we just want to play. We just want an equal opportunity to be able to play and have fun with the rest of the kids.
Okay, so we have some amazing people to talk to us tonight, and I am so happy that we have this crowd here, this proud, this loud crowd. Can I hear you get loud? Okay, that was okay, but I think you can do better. I think we can do better.
We can do better. Let's go. Come on, show us some pride.
And with no further ado, I would like to turn the mic over to Sue Robbins from Equality Utah. Sue.
Look at this amazing community. You all have my heart. After 14 months of meetings, after 2 general sessions, after an interim session, after 6 committee hearings, after 4 totally different bills, after a special session and a veto and a possible veto override, and oh, by the way, let's throw $400,000 or $500,000 of icing on this. Someone is going to go to the one transgender girl in this state and have to tell her that she can no longer play the sports with her friends. One girl for all this. This is wrong. It is political. It is not knowing our community and not trying to know our community. But with that, I want to make sure I thank those and point out the things that are happening that we need. First, if you didn't see it, it just came out this afternoon. The Deseret News, that conservative bastion of news, came out with an editorial this afternoon saying, leave the veto in place. And I'd like to take a snippet out of that real quick to give the sense of what they were talking about. The bill, which imposes outright bans on female transgender athletes, is nothing more than an effort to follow a nationwide conservative trend. It is a box to be checked with an eye towards election, and remarkably, it is designed to fail. And that's why they have to throw $500,000 at it, because they know that going in. So thank you, Deseret News, for standing up for what's right. We also hear that there's talk with the NCAA and the NBA about potentially not having events here. I want them to know, let's do North Carolina all over again. If we're going to sit here and attack our marginalized community, let's know that there's pain that goes with it, because we love our kids and we won't stand for that. And last, I want to thank Governor Cox. His letter, while there may be things that you look at and say, well, the verbiage, you know, it was amazing. He loves you, all of you. And I go into meetings with him and he's instantly emotional and tears coming out of his eyes because he's met you and he knows you. And that's what makes a difference. So all of you who have met Governor Cox, you did this. You were the ones that got the veto. So I just want to say, I see you. I love you, and right now I want to hear our youth, because they're the ones whose voices should be lifted right now. Let's bring them on.
Thank you, Sue. I am just so amazed at the crowd that we got. Just 30 hours, we started planning this protest. We found out that the legislature was going to pull this bill back and try and override this veto. And we know that there is at least something we can do. If that means we stop the bill tonight, we stop the bill. But more importantly, our children, our trans children, know that we are with them. They know they are not alone. They are not alone. So, I have a little chant. Can we do it?
Let's do it.
Okay. Okay, it goes like this. Hey ho!
Hey ho!
Transphobia's got to go!
Transphobia's got to go!
Hey ho!
Hey ho!
Transphobia's got to go!
Transphobia's got to go!
Hey ho!
Hey ho!
Transphobia's got to go!
Transphobia's got to go!
All right, I'm gonna get better at that, I promise. As the night goes on, this is not a drinking event, so it may, we don't have that warm up. Okay, take it away.
Alright, so our next speaker is going to be Ivy JP, a high school student who goes by the pronouns of she, her. The stage is yours.
What's up? Stage is yours.
All right.
Take it away.
Hey guys. One moment. Okay guys, how are y'all doing tonight? Very awesome guys. Hi, my name's Ivy J. Pitts. I'd like to thank Amanda Darrow and the Utah Pride Center for allowing me to speak today. Today I found this quote by Nelson Mandela, used by my mom in an embarrassing old rap video that I performed in the talent show. So, the quote is, "I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear." You being here today helps the LGBTQ community grow. We deserve to be heard, and we deserve to be included as no different. This bill, House Bill 11, is going to be reconsidered tomorrow at 1 p.m. This bill would completely eradicate the thought of trans women being able to play in competitive sports. I believe there's a middle ground. I was talking with my friend today about how people change their perspective on LGBTQ individuals as soon as it affects them. My dad has always been a role model in my family. He's so cool, he always supported me, and he loves to play guitar and sing little tunes about our dogs. I brought up that I might be transgender to him, and he hasn't known anyone who's transgender or anything in between. And you know, he's always had a lot of questions, is the thing. Yeah. I went through several sessions of therapy, family therapy, and rebuilding that relationship with him. And now he sees me no different to him than when I was his son. Now I'm his daughter, so. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, who cares about labels, son or daughter? He definitely doesn't understand what I'm going through, but he supports me nonetheless. I hope he knows I love him for that, because I genuinely do. I hope everyone here today Hello? I might have turned it off. Nope, we're good. Oh, sorry, I thought I was falling. Second microphone for the win. Okay, so I hope everyone here today knows that being different from the crowd is not bad. Being transgender, just because it's away from the norm, isn't bad. Sorry, I got off track there. Just because an idea is different, just because being transgender is different than the norm, doesn't mean that doesn't mean we should be shut from society. As a child, you grow with difficulties along the way. As transgender youth, we are faced with these obstacles on the daily. Several people make glances, say things behind our back, to our face, and outright exclude us from normal everyday activities. This gets to you, it starts hurting, and this can be a demeaning and depressing thing when it happens daily. This disregard of the transgender community creates a bubble around them, not allowing anyone in or out. This stigma can be brutal and lead to depression and suicidal ideation. The unacceptance in these small things add up, just like House Bill 11. This only contributes to the raising suicide rates among transgender youth. With that, all we are asking is to be given the same opportunities as everyone. We all deserve that shot. Guardians, family, friends, and any one of them could be questioning whether they are LGBTQ. They could be concerned with how they would be treated after they come out. We are here, we are no different species, we all bleed red, and we all have passions. We all have interests, and we all want to be heard. Thank you.
Okay, so when coming out to your parents, I know it could be a really hard and difficult thing. I know it was for me. And at first, my parents didn't really understand what I was going through and how to help me. but they really came through, and I'm actually really proud of them. And as my dad nods in the audience. But another thing that's helped me kept going through my journey is definitely the faculty and staff at my school. They've helped me through a lot, and I'm pretty sure a couple of them are here. I don't know. I also have my GSA vice president that has helped me through a lot too. And just all the stuff that's been going on at schools, trying to help them with people coming out, trying to feel safe there, because there is bullying going on no matter where you go. And just a little bit by little, we're taking that away from my school, and I know that that's helping a lot with youth trying to become who they are and who they want to be. Okay, so we're gonna have our next speaker come up, and it is Chelsea. I don't know how to pronounce your Acosta, I think. I'm sorry if I just butchered that. It's a Latina activist and educator that goes by she, her pronouns. The stage is yours.
Good evening, how are you? So, my name is Miss Acosta. I'm a middle school teacher. My pronouns are ella, she, her, hers. I want to apologize for my cisgenderness tonight and my age, so I'm just going to put that out there right now. Before we start class, I'm going to do something, and I want you to stop and pause and think and probably talk to your parents if you're younger. I would love all of our trans youth to come sit in front of me only if you feel safe to do so. I would love if you would come join me on the stage and sit. It's okay if you do not feel safe, but this is about you. Why we are here. I would like to secondly, I would like all of our crew, our family, our comunidad to kind of circle in a little bit closer. If you can come in just a little bit closer, everyone just surround them. What a beautiful sight. Look at what a sight you all get, right? This is where it is. I ask those of you in the crowd right now, if you can, keep the flags up though. I want you to take your hands and make a heart out of them and hold them up as I give our lecture. Do y'all see that? In all honesty, I care about politics because as an educator, I know that's what determines policies and codes and all the other things that go on. But tonight, when Amanda asked me if I would speak, I said only if I can just speak to the youth. Tomorrow will come and go, but this right here will never leave you. This is what you have. I hope you take this home with you and back to school with you tomorrow, okay? And get you through the weekend and the weeks to come. So here's Miss Acosta's couple of minutes. My heart and mind cannot understand how a group of humans that live in a state that promotes community and Christianity can use their power and privilege to do so much harm to the most marginalized in our communities and schools. As humans that pride themselves on family and love in our state, I cannot begin to comprehend the disconnect or rationalization of such discrimination and harm. especially to our most vulnerable youth seeking visibility, voice, and safety. This isn't about points on a scoreboard or college sports scholarships. This is fundamentally about survival, safety, and community. 0.36% of our students get up every day in Utah and have to process their own mental, emotional, physical, and social well-being, also known as transitioning, at a level unbeknownst to the other 99.64% of us. They only know what it feels like, we do not. These incredible human beings navigate their own world with the intensity that we will never feel or know. Add in the intersectionality of race, ability, socioeconomics, geographic location, family structure, religion, and so many other intersections, and you have the reality of surviving minute by minute in our schools and in home and in the community. For the Utah Legislature to vote not once, but twice, overturn the governor's veto in order to codify such transphobia is astonishing, to say the least. As a human being, an educator, trans ally, and an equity advocate for all, and that is capital letters ALL, I ask you to truly pause, sit with your fears, reach out, educate yourself, and ask yourself, what if this was my child? Thank you.
Thank you, Chelsea. Let's hear it for her again. Show these kids some love before they sit down. This is all for you. Okay, Jay. Report. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Our next speaker.
So our next speaker is Nico, a junior high student who uses he, him pronouns.
Okay. This is much scarier now that I am up here. I love you too, random citizen. Okay. Hi, my name is Nico, and I would also like to start out by saying thank you to... Hello? Hello. Testing. I can't tell if that's working.
Get it right up into your mouth like this.
Okay. Is it working now? All right. Okay, I would also... Oh.
There we go. We're good.
Okay, I think it's working now. Hi, my phone turned off, so I don't have my script. Okay, I would like to start out by saying thank you to the Pride Center. Okay. I just have to be really loud now. Okay.
Go back and forth.
Thanks to the Pride Center. When I first came out, one of the first places I ended up going for support is the Pride Center, which is where I met a lot of different trans people. And before then, I was like, other trans people don't exist in Utah. You know, they do. And they're some of the nicest people I've ever met, and I've learned a lot from meeting other trans people. I hope people can hear me.
Okay, you're good. I'm gonna ask really quick.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear? Okay, we're gonna take 5. We're gonna figure this out. I'm sorry,
Okay.
You're gonna have to start over again.
It's okay.
Give some support. I am so sorry about the mic situation. We're gonna figure it out because every word is important.
I don't want to go.
Okay, we're good. All right, we have a really quick request. Please turn off your Bluetooth on your cutting out our mics. It will just be a little while, it's okay. Go into your settings, turn off Bluetooth. Thank you.
That's what Kate's hoping. It's not supposed to do that. Okay. It's the world of tech problems. Yes.
Okay. Can you hear me? Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Okay, all right. Let's get Nico back up here. Is that two? All right.
Okay. Please work this time. Okay. Once again, I would like to thank the Pride Center for giving me this platform to speak, and for everybody here for being here to listen to me. Being trans, it's really hard to get your voice out there. People don't like us, but okay, and I would also like to thank my social circle for being there to support me, specifically my mom, who's in the crowd right now. You too, Micah, you're great. You guys have been seriously great. You have learned so much over the last couple years with me coming out, and for that, I am forever grateful. I was terrified coming out. I'm sure most trans people are. And I have lost friends, and I have grown very distant from relatives as a result of coming out. And that sucks, but I also found a lot of really cool people, such as my boyfriend, who I am very gay for. Now, I'm not an athlete. I hate sports. Do I look like I can kick a ball? But, and yeah, this bill may not impact me personally, or very many people personally. There are not a lot of trans athletes out there, but if there is even one person in Utah, or 4 people in the whole US, that's too many people who are being excluded from sports that they have the right to participate in. And while I am not an athlete, I am one of many transgender youth who have struggled to find happiness and peace within myself. I have felt unaccepted and distraught and dysphoric and extremely alone in my journey at times. And I've been very lucky with the support that I've had and the life-saving resources that I've had access to, but I know that a lot of people in my position aren't so lucky. They live in the shadows and behind closet doors, and they feel the suffering that I've felt tenfold if they don't have friends and family who support them like I do. And we've made a lot of progress within the last several years, but there's still a lot of hatred and discrimination thrown our way. And this discrimination often manifests in the form of bills and laws that serve only to isolate, exclude, and humiliate us. They are solving problems that do not exist, and these bills and laws are dangerous. They contribute to the suicide statistics that are already way too high, and I believe that we can lower those statistics, but you can't be indifferent. You can't be indifferent, you can't, indifference and inaction don't help us. And right now, me and my trans brothers and sisters and siblings need your help more than ever to combat these attacks on our community. So, I think I speak for all of us when I say, we are the trans community and we deserve the right to feel loved and accepted. We deserve access to sports, bathrooms, and safe spaces just like everybody else. And to everybody who has come here today to show your support, whether you are a trans person or an ally showing your support, thank you, because it has meant a lot to all of us. It really is nice to see a mob and they're not angry. And yeah, so thank you everyone. That is all I had to say.
Okay, let's talk about why this is problematic. We have for a long time accepted that we split sports by gender. Is it the smartest way to split sports? No. No, there are smarter ways to split, I can speak. God, okay. There are smarter ways to split sports than by gender. There are ability groups. There is interest. We do not have to accept what the world is. We have to live in it, and we have to learn how to change it. And us being here today is how we do that.
All right, so our next speaker is Bree Taylor, Salt Lake City educator and family leadership team, and they go by the pronouns of they, them.
I am a proud queer and trans educator. As a teacher, I spend my days rocking out with 10 and 11-year-olds. And last year, I had the privilege of starting a Rainbow Club for my elementary school community. It wasn't without its pushback, but as an adult, I can take it. But what I can't stand is when we come for our children. I find that adults are often the worst part of my job, and the legislature behind this bill is no exception. And today, I wanted to speak to the students. And I know you spent all day listening to your teachers already, so I'll try to keep it brief. I know that you're hurting. And I have felt that hurt before, and I feel it with you now. You are not alone. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that adults who should know better are using you as political pawns without regard for the emotional and mental violence that this bill causes. I'm sorry that a state that claims to champion children has left you out of that. I want you to know that you are not alone. Look around you. You are surrounded by people who are here to fight for you. We see you as you are. We embrace you, and we know that you deserve safe and welcoming schools. You belong in our classrooms. You belong on our teams, and we are all made better because you are here. You are more powerful than you may realize, and not powerful in the way that these politicians fear, because it's not a power that seeks domination or control or a power that comes at the expense of others. You are powerful in the way that you know who you are in spite of a world that wants you to doubt yourself. You are powerful in the way you wake up each morning and share your magic with this world. You are powerful like the tree roots that crack up through the cement, defying anyone else to stunt your growth. You are part of a divine ancestry of trans and gender nonconforming folks who for centuries have dared to be wholly and unashamedly themselves and have fought back against anyone who dared to stand in their way. They cannot understand the depths, the inclusion, and the magic of your power because it isn't something that they can claim or tame. It is a power that is uniquely and innately you. We as trans folks defy confinement. Our identities are boundless, and we carry the stardust of galaxies within our hearts. The greatest privilege of my life, besides being trans, is being able to work with trans youth, some of whom are sitting right in front of me today. I promise to never stop fighting for you. I will never stop showing up. And we will continue to fight back until every school and every classroom is safe and inclusive for you. Thank you.
One second.
Oh gosh. Is that our clipboard?
So our next speaker is Adele M., a GSA president, and they go by the pronouns of she, they. You have the board.
It's quite a lot of people. As was said, I am the GSA president at Layton High School. And if the GSA is watching, I'm here for you, and I love you guys. But I came here, I'm not trans, but I'm representing the GSA, and I do care about all of those in the community. But I wanted to speak about my experience with being an athlete. Oh, sorry. Do you want me to repeat that? Could you hear any of that? Good? Okay. So my experience as being an athlete, it's been really, I don't know how to explain it. It's really a good stress reliever for me. It's an escape from reality. I know when I'm feeling really stressed, something about just kicking a ball really hard or running around, it really just does something for me. And the experience of being with the team and the bonding experiences you get and the friendships you build, it's really something special to me. My teammates, all that I've played with, played against, it's really a freeing experience, and I want everyone to have that opportunity to play sports if they want to. I understand that change can be really scary, but I also understand that by passing this bill, even more transgender lives will be threatened. And I just wanted to say to all my transgender youth out there, you are loved, you are brave, you are strong, you are valid, and we love you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Our next speaker, we are going to try and keep on time, but I know I'm way behind. So our next speaker, with no further ado, is Taryn Hyatt. She's with the Utah, Nevada Area Director for the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention and Ally. She goes by pronouns she, her.
Thank you so much for being here tonight. You know, we know that in our world there are two forces that dominate. Love, and that's what's here. That's what's here. Feel it, because we do. We love each and every one of you. The other one is fear. And fear is what has bred the hatred and the ignorance that started this bill process, and that's what we have to stand up against. The only cure for fear and hatred is love. Love, okay? You know, trans people, you have always been with us. Always. And maybe some people are more comfortable when you're invisible and silent. We will no longer stand by. You do not have to be invisible. We see you, and we need you to be loud. Let me hear you. Our own governor said it best. Never has so much anger been directed at so few. Give Governor Cox the credit he deserves for having the moral courage and a backbone to veto this bill. It is not the Utah way to pass legislation that requires that we promote crisis services to you. Suicide will not take you. You stay. Because we are going to show them the value and how much you have. And on the days you don't feel like you can stand, look at us, we will hold you. We will carry you. We have you. We have them, and we have to stay with them. So let each of us today stand tall. Stand tall, be visible. Trans humans are humans, period. Trans girls, you're girls. Trans boys are boys. We have to use those terms, and we cannot have the misinformation that continues to come out of this legislative body. You belong here. I hope you see the community that has you. We will stand. We will fight for you. You do not need to lead this fight. We, as your community, will do this shit for you. We have your back. Last thing I'll say, you guys, we have an entire state suicide prevention plan dedicated to our LGBTQ community. The plan talks about the protective factor of participating in community events, having that safe space, being a part of. We will make sure that plan is in place for you. This is not over, no matter what happens tomorrow. You belong. And I'll wear my damn shirt tomorrow in their faces too. They're going to have to look us in the eye if they try to override this veto. You belong, and we have your back. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So our next speaker is going to be Finn. They are a senior in high school. And are he, him. They're just like, oh my gosh, you're Finn too?
Okay, is this working? Yeah? Can you all hear me? Okay, so hi, my name is Finn. My pronouns are he, him. I'm a senior in high school. It's pretty cool. I'm the secretary for the GSA at my school, and it's been a really awesome experience. I wanted to come here today to talk to you specifically about what it's like to be trans and what it's like to be a trans teen and a trans student, because unless you're trans, you have no clue what it's like. The years that I've actually known what my identity was. I've learned that there are teachers and classmates and adults and even family members that don't understand what it's like to go through what we go through. And a while after I came out as trans, I wanted to try to express how I was feeling in a way that I thought maybe it would reach more people. And so I'm here today to do exactly what I did then, and I have a poem prepared for you about my experience with being trans. Okay. I wish I could be the main character, to have my flaws loved, to be seen as perfect, to have a child read about me and say, I want to be like him. But that's not me. My flaws are not loved. Maybe if they were, I would feel better about myself. I wouldn't have to shower with the lights off. I wouldn't have to force my body to stop every time I use a public restroom. I wouldn't have to cry at the kitchen table begging my parents to love me like they love their other children. Maybe if I were the main character, I could feel more like the person I want to be, living in a world where society doesn't rule how I should live in my body. A world where I could sculpt my own face, carving a jawline sharper than the scars on my arms. I could mold my body to look like the other boys that I pass in the halls at school, not too tall or too short, my height compensating for the skin I removed from my chest. I could even fall in love, or better yet, love myself. When I came out to my family, it felt like returning a book to a friend. Damaged, bent, and creased in all the wrong places, words scribbled out and replaced with new ones. At first, they didn't want it. But eventually, they missed their book. They missed the first time they read it. They missed me. So they said, hey, I'll take my book back. But it was too different. As I changed, so did the book. Hair dye stains splattered across the words, pink illustrations replaced with blue, ripped pages taped back together, an attempt to hide the damage that had been done. Some people liked the book this way. They thought that the new ending made was better off the way it was before the main character's chest was bound like the newly placed hardcover. Before fabric was pulled tighter, before bandages were suffocated, before breathing became impossible. Sometimes, when I read the book, when I tell my mom how much happier the main character is now, she asks me to slow down, she asks me to rethink, demanding that there is a fault in this ink, but this book is printed by hand, a careful arrangement of my thoughts, and my thoughts are not wrong. My feelings are not wrong. We may not see eye to eye, but there's a difference between agreement and acceptance. Agreement is when we both admit that the sky is blue, when we know 1 + 1 is 2. Acceptance is when you go to the library and read books about kids like me, when you tell your coworkers you don't have 4 daughters, you have 3. It doesn't have to be a rainbow flag next to the front door. It doesn't have to be the down payment for a scalpel in my chest. It doesn't have to be the injection of hormones into my body. It just needs to be one word. Call me your son, not your daughter, not your child. Call me who I am, and maybe I'll love you back. Thank you.
Okay, is Darlene McDonald here? Okay, yes. Darlene McDonald from One Utah Project, founder, she, her.
Hello everyone. Can you hear me okay? Thank you. I want to thank the Utah Pride Center for inviting me to speak tonight. It is an honor to stand here as an ally. 2021 was, to date, the deadliest year on record for transgender people. Most of them were Black and Latinx, according to the Human Rights Campaign. In 1995, in the last interview before his death, British actor R-Riverton was asked, what does he want his legacy to be? He was an acclaimed actor, known for his role in The Good Life and Yes, Prime Minister. He said he wants people to remember him and say he did little harm. That phrase has always stayed with me. He did little harm. And when I think about what the legislature has done, I want them to remember the quote of Paul Editon, "He did little harm," because they have done great harm. If this was truly about fairness, as many have said, I would stand alongside them. But this is not about fairness. This is about an injustice. An injustice done to one is an injustice done to all. In 2013, one of my heroes, the late great John Lewis, stood up and said, "I worked too hard fighting against discrimination to not speak up and speak out against discrimination done to others. Today, I stand in solidarity with our transgender youth." I will close with this. This is why we vote. Your vote is your voice. Many of the youth on these steps are not yet old enough to cast a ballot. They're counting on you to do that for them. We must vote to protect our youth. We must vote for them. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Jay reading Sage's poem.
So Sage is a good friend of mine, and they live too far to be able to join us today. So I'm still going to introduce them. Sage is our vice president for our GSA at our Utah Pride Center. The pronouns they, them. So their poem is, "You hang me up and dry me out until I fit your view. Bend my limbs and change my shape until I'm just like you. Expose all my secrets and then take them all away. And then when you're finally bored, you go and flush me down the drain." And so the cycle goes, never failing, never fading. The tide brings me back here just when I thought I was escaping. And so you bring me out again and put me on display. Parade me around when people ask, you always say, I am some sort of beautiful, perfect creator, a nymph that you found collapsed in a hole. And you could call the doctor, the judge, and the preacher, but it's too late. They couldn't save my soul. And I try to scream, no, they're just telling lies, but my dried out body is all paralyzed. I'm human, I promise. I follow the laws, and I don't have any problems that they don't cause. And so you hang me out and dry me out until I fit your view. Rob me of what I once was until I finally am like you. But don't turn your back on me. You mount me on display because just like all the other times, I managed to escape. Sage is a very wonderful human being, and I'm proud to be one of their friends and a good ally to him. And so, here's mine.
Thank you. Can we hear it again? Okay, our next speakers are from Encircle. We have Stacy Jackson Roberts, pronouns she, her, VP of Operations. Stacy? Very cool. And then we also have Andres Brown, pronouns they, them.
Hi, I'm Stacy Jackson Roberts. I'm the Vice President of Operations at Encircle. I'm also a licensed clinical social worker with over a decade of experience working with the transgender and non-binary community in mental health care. I'm also a proud transgender woman with native roots here in Utah. I grew up in the little town of Beaver.
And I'm Andres Arias Brown. I use the pronouns they, them, he, him, and ella if we're speaking Spanish. And I am a non-binary licensed marriage and family therapist here and have been providing therapy since 2016.
Thank you for joining us here today in support of transgender non-binary youth. As clinicians here in the state of Utah, we know that the actions that the state legislature is set to take here, we know as clinicians, they will do significant harm to this vulnerable community. Sports are often a critical part of youth development, learning skills from perseverance and endurance to teamwork and cooperation. We appreciate the stand that Governor Cox has taken on the side of inclusion and fairness, including encouraging a collaborative process to address the concerns around supporting supposed competitive advantages while ensuring a pathway to equitable access and inclusion for youth in sports. The governor has pointed out that of 75,000 athletes in high school sports in the state of Utah, only 4 of them identify as transgender, and only 1 of them is participating in school sports. So the state of Utah is set to spend $500,000 to prevent 1 individual from participating in high school girls' athletics. If this state legislature is truly worried about girls' sports, think about how that money could go to use in building up the facilities and programming for girls' athletics in this state. It's time for us to invest in all of our youth, including cisgender girls, including cisgender girls and trans kids.
All right, give loud!
Including cis and trans kids. It's time that we earnestly invest in athletic like in our non-binary community.
Stacy and I also wanted to come here as therapists and healers to talk to all of you. We, in our therapy offices, often have to interact with the real-life ramifications of policies like this, of legislative action like this. We often are in the position of helping people heal that adults on young humans. And I think more than anything, we want to echo what has been said by with you. We believe in you. Your fight is our fight. We believe in your healing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you all for being here, supporting us, dealing with all of the mic issues. All of these amazing people that are speaking to us.
So our next speaker is Olivia Jamario, Director of Public Outreach, Equality Utah, and they use the pronoun she, her. I'm sorry if I totally butchered your last name.
You did butcher my name.
I'm sorry.
Hi, everybody. Are we excited? Yeah! I know we've gone through a lot, haven't we? It's been heavy. And I wanted to say something before I start going into this. I'm not going to take a long time. Where's Finn? Hey, oh my, hey, Finn. You're not a used book. None of you are used books. You're not damaged. You're not a piece of coal. You are all diamonds. Every single one of you. You're bright, shining diamonds. So don't ever compare yourself to a used book. Okay? Okay, so now we'll look at my notes. So, and the pandemic, it's taken it out of us, hasn't it? Every single one of us individually, even down to our kids, it's been hard. It's been hard to be separated. And it feels like in this separation, our community here, we disconnected just a tiny bit. And it feels like this is the moment that they decided to attack us. And I hate it because they couldn't stop us from gaining same-sex marriage equality. They couldn't stop us from gaining non-discrimination protections for the LGBTQ community. They couldn't stop us when we passed the hate crimes law in 2019. And they couldn't stop us when we banned conversion therapy. And now, it's now into the second year, they're going after us again, and they're going after our most vulnerable. They're going after our kids, and the most vulnerable, our trans non-binary kids. And this is where we come together again. This is where we have to connect again. We need to show them again that when we are connected, we are unstoppable. And I'm not just talking about our LGBTQ community, I'm talking about our allies. And allyship is huge for what we do at Equality Utah. We need allies. There is no way we can pass all of the laws that we pass. There's no way we stop all still with you at our side. There is no way we can protect these kids. And we have to give a gigantic shout out to a huge ally in our midst now, Governor Spencer Cox. You know what I really like about what happened with him? Is that I was very skeptical of him when he was running. I was very skeptical. But now, he hasn't just talked the talk. He has walked the walk. And not only that, he has lived his religion, and beyond that, he has lived his politics and his actions. And this is where we all step in as well. We all, every single one of us, we need to start living our politics. Yes, we can share stuff on social media, but we need to activate now. We need to activate to protect our kids and to take back all of the protections and all of the rights that are ours to have. So I'll leave you with this, and then I'm off the stage. I challenge every single one of you. This is an ask, per se. Live your politics. Live your politics with action. And let's protect these kids. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, I love Olivia. Okay, I love you, Olivia. Cheer! It's normal. Okay, is Heidi Matthews here? Okay, Heidi Matthews is the UEA president.
Thank you so much. What is the UEA except a weekend that used to be in October, right? How many of you remember that? The Utah Education Association is a professional organization of educators throughout our state. We have over 18,000 members, and our mission is to fulfill the promise of public education for each and every student. Yes, each and every student, all students, every day. And you know, I had this great speech lined up, but you know, like any good teacher, I'm going to monitor and adjust because everything has been said. But I want to really reiterate from educators across the state and why you all matter, why we get invested in politics, because our mission is not only that, you know, the deep-seated value that we believe in of making sure that all our students have access and opportunity and the supports and resources to be able to learn and thrive and grow into their best potential to create a better future for all of us. But we enter into the political area, the political 45 days of not so much fun up here, looking through the lens of the impact on our students. And that's, of course, all of the things that make sure that you have the best and brightest and most supported teachers who connect with you, like Ms. Acosta, who brought you up here into this space, that we invest in those resources that make sure that people aren't hungry, because it's hard to learn when you're hungry, or you're afraid, or you're tired, or your world is upside down. And that we invest in politics that when they are put into practice, impact our kids, impact our most vulnerable kids. And so as was said, you know, if this law was about fairness, we might be talking about a different story here. But this House Bill 11 seeks to further isolate and threaten and send a message to those of you that we have committed our careers to, that we have made a statement as educators that this is why we exist as an organization, to be able to fulfill that promise of public education. And we want you to, as Governor Cox says, we want you to live. We want you to live gloriously and with dignity and respect. And thank you, yes! And the members of the Utah Education Association have as the spectrum of beliefs across our state, as do all of our citizens, but we are united in our commitment to the promise of public education for all of our students. Thank you, all of you, but especially our youth here.
Thank you. So our next speaker is going to be Jace. I don't want to butcher your name because I'm kind of done doing that. The anxiety it gives you.
Thank you. My name is Jace Dininger. It's an easy one to mess up, so I'm not too worried about it. I am 17 years old. I am the co-president of the Park City High School GSA. My other co-president is right down there. Hi, Summer. And let me get my paper out. I didn't bring my speech on a phone, so there's no Bluetooth issues. All right. Today, I am here for no other reason than to tell trans youth that they are loved. I know how it feels. I've been through it too. We've been told over and over and over again by our schools and our government that we are not important or that we are less valuable than our cisgender counterparts. These people are wrong. They're wrong. We are important. We are valuable. We can make a change in our world. Trans kids out there, yeah, all you guys, we've been chatting, friends. Not passing or not, questioning or not, I see you. Everyone here tonight sees you for exactly who you are. We love you. The fact that you are here sends a message to everyone inside that building that we are here to be heard, not walked over. To Governor Cox, thank you for your efforts. We appreciate your work. to the trans people and allies, it's our time to make changes. I'm going to say what I say every time I speak, which is that this November, many of the people in that building are up for election. My friend Chris was here a little bit ago. He's one of them. Hi, Chris. Good to see you. So all of you who are over 18, I encourage you, register to vote. If you can't register to vote, I endear you to call and email and text your representatives tonight, and every night until they get what we're trying to say, until they get our message. Vote in the elections. The power is switching into our hands for the future now. It's our turn. Let's make a difference. Thank you.
Okay, our next speaker is Councilman Chris Wharton. He, him. Let's hear it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm Chris Wharton from the Salt Lake City Council. Thank you. Way back in 1996, I was about to enter a junior high, and a Republican majority of Utah legislators convened in an illegal, closed-door meeting and devised a plan to ban all non-academic high school clubs in the state. I know. They did this, they took these extreme measures because one small group of students wanted to create a gay-straight alliance. And rather than let them do that, they'd rather ban all of the clubs in the state. So this is before Instagram, and before YouTube, and before Facebook, even before MySpace. I know. And those students, they were just looking for a place to belong. They wanted to be part of something bigger than themselves. They wanted to be seen at their school and in their community. In response, the leadership of this state overreacted. They chose fear-mongering and political gain over the duty to protect all Utah children. The impact of that decision permeated my junior high and high school experience as a young, closeted queer kid in Utah. Later, as a sophomore in college, still too scared to even come out to my closest friends and family about my true identity, I sat in a crowded auditorium watching the president at the time use the State of the Union speech to call for a national constitutional amendment on marriage equality, or banning marriage equality. I heard conservatives on the national news and Eagle Forum members here in Utah call gays and lesbians domestic terrorists. They accused us of trying to tear apart families and recruit young children into a life of depravity and sin, all under the guise of protecting the integrity of marriage. That same year, the Utah Legislature placed a Superdoma on the ballot, which banned marriage equality, not only banning marriage equality and denying recognition of any same-sex union of any kind in the state. Again, they went too far. They allowed blatant hate and prejudice towards our community to be written into the highest laws of this state. That is the political environment that I grew up in. I know all too well what it feels like to have a political target on your back. I know what it feels like to have a supermajority of those in power raining down on you just for daring to be who you are. Make no mistake, the pain and the damage that did to me and a generation of queer people is profound. And I just wanted to feel loved. I wanted to feel accepted. I wanted to feel normal. And this institution of my home state failed me. While they offered all kinds of justifications and excuses, They knew the consequences of what they were doing, and they did it anyway, because they had the votes. To them, my life was less valuable. In fact, they thought it was expendable. But they were wrong, and now I'm a lawyer. Thank you. That is more applause than a lawyer usually gets. That feels nice. I'm a lawyer that fights for the equal treatment of transgender and non-binary individuals in front of the Utah Supreme Court, and I win. I'm also an elected official who represents this area that we're in right now, this Capitol building, and Temple Square, and the headquarters of the LDS Church. And I use my power as an elected official to enact LGBTQ inclusive policies for Salt Lake City, including full coverage for all transgender affirming medical care for all city employees and their family members. And most importantly, I get to be the legal husband of my same-sex partner for over 5 years now. He's over there. So to all of you here, and to all of the transgender youth in our state, I want you to trust and believe in this. Just as they were wrong about me then, they are wrong about you now. And tomorrow, they may choose to write hate and prejudice back into the law, but it won't last. I'll make sure of that. Utah's LGBTQ community and our allies have seen this type of ugly extremism before. We will fight this in the courtrooms. We will fight this in the halls of government. We will fight this in the hearts and minds of everyday Utahns, and we will win again. And I want you to remember the words of the poet Dinos Christianopoulos. What he said as a gay man who was ostracized from his own Greek literary community. He says, "What didn't you do to try and bury me? But you forgot I was a seed." You are seeds of change for your generation. There's so much resilience and beauty and power in everything that you do, and so much potential. You are part of this community. Oh, wait, is it back? Hey, yeah. All right, right for the ending. You are part of this community. You are part of our family. We love you. We are here for you, and we are not going away. I am done now, so thank you. Okay.
Okay. All right. Our next speaker is Dr. Jen Plum, pediatrician and proud mom.
I don't know, I don't want to put you on the spot. Maybe we can just be together. Thank you. I'll go, if you decide to do the poem, you just holler and I'll hand you the mic, okay? I'm going to stand on this because I'm a shrimp. So, my name is Jen Plum. I am a mom, first and foremost. I have the honor of raising this most incredible human who is a better human than I will ever hope to be. And I'm not just being, I'm serious, a better human than I'll ever hope to be. And I am also extremely honored to care for the children of this state in the Emergency Department of Primary Children. There is arguably no human to care for a child. Your child, your child, your child, your child, that child, that child, that child, all of y'all. There is no greater honor. And to watch this state not care for any of our children has been just about the worst thing I could say. This state says it loves its kids, right? The child first and always, you ever heard that one? They're liars. They don't demonstrate it, right? You're right. They don't demonstrate it, and we cannot allow that. I have so much anger welling up inside of me and a few tears shed after listening to these amazing speakers. I just want to share with you that I have never met a braver human than this one. I have never met a braver community than this one. I have never been more proud to know humans than all of you here standing up. Because this state cannot be treat children the way they are doing with this bill. They want to protect plastic bags in Park City. They want to protect puppy mills in other counties. And they don't want to protect our kids? Are you kidding me with this? My child and none of you will ever be a problem. You will be the biggest blessings that we could ever have in our existence. I mean that. You are changing the world person by person, and anything that I or any of us can do to stand up directly behind you, straighten your crowns, straighten your flags, straighten your capes, whatever it takes, you tell us. And you demand it of us. And if we're not doing it enough, you demand louder, because we want to hear you. Tell us. When this state decides to do something awful tomorrow, which I fear that they will, we will raise harder. We will fight harder. We will champion harder, and we will love and value you harder than we did the day before. I'm going to stop with the mom tears now. And did you want to read a poem? You mentioned it. Would you like to? Okay, here you go. This microphone is finicky, so hold it up really close to your face.
Can you hear me? I just wanted to thank my English teacher who said from sophomore to senior year, oh, your style changed. She's like, yep, that was it. Anyway, thanks Ms. Thornbrook. For helping me develop this. I call it fellowship. O thou, pill diver, do not scrutinize my body without everlasting muck. Satisfy and conduct yourself to question me no more how my sinful tail appears, nor deepen the thrust of hateful hook that opposes myself and many other silence on whether we call ourselves true. Established on the we call ourselves is true, established on the incapability of the baron's bond, and cease your tall tales of deceitful, terrorizing water nymphs. However mythical it may seem, these individuals are in fact out there, living outside the net of assignment.
You won.
Okay, just saying we were racing for this last one, and I called dibs. Our last speaker for the night is our amazing, wonderful Amanda. One of the best people ever, I swear. She's amazing. I love her so much. We're besties.
She's absolutely the best, and I have to say something to her. I love her.
Love you, Amanda. Y'all are giving me way too much credit right now. This is the truth right here. I don't know where to stand. Okay. I have hundreds of children. Hundreds of you are my chosen family. Hundreds of my kids come through the doors of the Utah Pride Center every year. And I cannot tell you how proud I am to be your chosen family. Whether you're sitting here on these stairs tonight, whether you're being my amazing MC, whether you're my amazing youth speakers, whether you're online, or whether you are not available tonight to be here. I love you. I see you, and I will fight like hell for you. We planned this rally 30 hours ago. The reason for the rally, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We weren't here to fight for tomorrow. We were here to fight for your love and show you love. Make sure that you knew first and foremost that every person in this crowd is here to love you. Thank you to all of those speakers that stepped up. I made some calls last night and everyone said yes. You all said yes. You said I will drop whatever it takes to be here for those kids. We promise you we will do that. We will always do that. I'm going to change the tone though. As we end tonight, I want to start with sending a message to the state legislators. Others have come here today to tell you about the lives that you are damaging. We need the recording, hold on. And they're right. You are damaging those lives. What I'm here to talk about tonight is what we'll do at the Utah Pride Center to offset your damage. The legislature seems to only understand one thing: power. In your pursuit of unchecked power, you erred in your thought process. You thought these kids will go away. That under the pressure you are placing on them, they will crumble. And this debate will be over. You are wrong. Our kids and their friends, our families, our community, our teachers, our teachers and bishops, our mentors, and our support all still be there to lift them up. We at the Utah Pride Center will help lift them up. We will expand our youth services. We will expand our mental health department. We will expand our support groups. We will grow into rural areas, and we will reach far and wide into every community in this state. People will tire of the hate and fear being peddled to them. These kids and their community will rally with love, and their voices will grow. People will shift one by one, and your power will continue to slip in such a way that gerrymandering will no longer help you. You have caused this, and this will speed it up. These kids will grow up with love and support from our Utah community. And they and their friends, with the community's support, will be stronger, loved, and empowered to make change. The state legislature has just sealed its fate. It has lost the next generation, and it has lost its power. talk to my youth. My strong, brave, and incredible transgender youth. We put this rally together to show you that we love you. I want everyone in this crowd to scream, "I love you," on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And we will fight with everything that we have to protect you. We're gonna do another chant. I wanna hear "Protect Trans Kids" 3 times, as loud as you can scream. You tell these kids we're gonna protect them. 1, 2, 3.
Protect trans kids! Protect trans kids! Protect trans kids!
Now what I need from you all, my youth, is to make sure you're finding the connections and resources you need. Reach out to us, join the Utah Pride Center, join any group, join In Circle, join everyone you can to find the community to lift you up. We're all in this together. You bring so much joy and love to this world, and we need you. You are the future of Utah, and together we will overcome the hate, and they will crumble.
March 31st, it is Transgender Day of Visibility. Please join. Yes. Hold on now, I wanted to hear that. What were you saying? Okay. Here at 5 p.m. Okay? Good. On April 23rd, we will see the first ever Davis County Pride from 12 to 4 in the Layton Commons Park. Be there! Last, I invite you to our Pride Week, our festival, parade, and most importantly, Youth Pride is back. Thank you for being here! You are beautiful! You are loved! I'm just yelling into a mic, but I love you all. Thank you. This makes me so proud to be a part of Utah. All of these faces here tonight on such short notice. We love you. We will stand with you. We are here for you.